I would share with you another one of my favorite childhood stories. This one is No More Water in the Tub. In the bathroom near the top floor of a tall apartment building, William is getting ready for his bath. Walter had finished, and fresh water was running into the tub. "Get in, William," said Mom. "Walter, keep an eye on your brother. Leave the faucet on for another minute, but then no more water in the tub." "Aw, Mom," William said as he climbed in. "I like it deep." "You heard me. 1 minute." She closed the bathroom door and left. Walter reached for the tub faucet. "Not yet," yelled William. "I'm turning it on faster," Walter answered, "so you'll get more water in 1 minute. Let's see how fast it'll go." He twisted the cold water handle, and water gushed into the tub. What if I turned it all the way until it came off? Water blasted out of the fixture. In an instant, the bathroom was flooding. The tub broke loose and floated away from the wall. When Mom came in to see what all the racket was, water burst through the door, taking the tub with it. Down the hall William sailed, leaving Mom and Walter behind. Picking up speed, he passed the kitchen and the living room, heading for the front door. It opened. "I'm home," said Dad. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. In the apartment below, Miss Mabel Hattie was serving tea to her bridge club members when she heard a bump at the door. "That's Betty at last," she said. As Mabel opened the door, she complained. "Why are you always so late?" But it was William who answered. "I didn't realize you were expecting me," he said. As a wave of water tipped Mabel backwards, William rowed his bathtub into the room. He circled the card table and followed the rushing waters back out the way he came. Then out the door and down the steps went William and his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. One floor down, Sue and Maddie were watering their houseplants when they heard a knock. Expecting a pizza to be delivered, Sue quickly answered the door. "You're not our regular pizza boy," she sputtered as William surfed into the room, followed by Mabel. Waves rolled through the apartment and crashed against the back wall and turned. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Downstairs, Uncle Nash had stepped into the hallway to take out the garbage. He felt a drop of water and looked up. There was William in a bathtub, plunging down a waterfall where the staircase used to be. "I see your folks are having plumbing problems," Uncle Nash said, as the churning water swept him off his feet. Past the door and down the steps went William and his bathtub. Down went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sailed the trash. Patty Fuzzle was just about to finish putting her last jigsaw piece into place. She heard a knock and thought it was her sister Natty home from babysitting. But when she opened the door, it was William and the upstairs neighbors who spilled into the room. "I have a sinking feeling I'll never finish my puzzle," she cried, as the surging tide swirled around her. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle. While Mr. and Mrs. Hanratty were out, Natty Fuzzle was babysitting little Dottie. They were in the bathroom reading a story when they heard a key in the front door. "That must be your mom and dad," said Natty, and then she heard the water roaring down the hall towards the bathroom. William's tub pushed the Hanrattys aside. "We're home," they managed to say. Then out the door and down the steps went William and his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle. Little Dottie sailed the potty. Downstairs, the Ferlinghetti string quartet had been practicing all evening. Mind if I fix a snack? Said Mr. Bello from the kitchen. Make yourself at home, answered the Ferlinghetti. Suddenly the stove caught fire. Flames burst and spread quickly. Call the fire department, cried Mr. Bello. The building is burning. The fire alarm began to ring and everyone leaped to their feet. Mr. Bello reached the door first and threw it open, yelling, "Run for your life!" "But I just got here," said William. He and the neighbors stormed in on a tidal wave that flooded the burning apartment. Flames hissed, smoke and steam filled the air, and just as quickly as the fire started, it was gone, and the water began draining away. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle. Little Dotty sailed the potty. Mr. Bello rode his cello. Fire trucks and crowds of people arrived as William clattered down the front steps of the building. The tub ran aground the street, and William's neighbors washed up behind it. "Good work putting out that fire, son," the fire chief said. "You're a hero." He hung a heavy medal around William's neck, and everyone cheered. "And then they all went home," said Walter. "The end." "That was a great story, Walter. Tell me another one," begged William. "Okay," said Walter. William forgot all about turning the water off in 1 minute. The bathtub overflowed quickly and flooded the floor. Mom threw open the door and screamed, "No more water!" But she was too late. The tub broke loose and floated away from the wall. Then out the window and down the fire escape went William and his bathtub. This was another favorite of mine. There's a second one that I think is about Walter in the bathtub. Maybe this is the second one. Maybe it's "No More Water, Walter" is the first one. I don't know. I'll have to ask one of my older siblings or my parents to help me find it. But this is another Rhodes Family Classic. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next time for another story. Until then, stay happy and stay safe. Goodbye, guys.